Looks like we have some competition tonight. Sangha with great virtues, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth. Namo Saranto Suchedoye Erlahudi Samyo Sanputosye.
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 The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master YongHua, all good knowing advisors, Amitabha. So the Buddha, when he went to the Deer Park and turned the Dharma wheel, the Four Noble Truths, you have to realize that at that point in time, that was unprecedented. He revealed the knowledge that was not known to humankind beforehand. The Dharma, the Four Noble Truths, is the part of the Agama teaching. Agama is Sanskrit for incomparable, meaning that until then, remember before the Buddha, or when the Buddha became an ascetic cultivator, he went to seek out teachers, and he learned under the two most famous ones. One was a teacher who reached 7th Samadhi, another who reached 8th Samadhi. And that is the highest level of wisdom there is available to mankind. Okay? And when after the Buddha became enlightened, he came back. And then the first thing he taught to mankind is the next level of wisdom. Okay? That could be attained. That wisdom can be attained through the Dharma or the Four Noble Truths. Okay? So, therefore, that was the very first time in our knowledge store, that is, we have a way to further enhance our wisdom. All right? So that's why we call the Dharma the Four Noble Truths, which most Westerners mistake it for Mahayana. Actually, it's only the beginning of Mahayana. It's only the first stepping stone for Mahayana. As a very important Dharma that more or less represents Buddhism. Okay? It's a Dharma that is about four things. To recap for some of you, the Dharma about suffering, okay, the truth about suffering. Life is a lot of suffering. Number two is the truth of accumulation. Okay, accumulation means that the suffering have a way of accruing, piling on top of each other, making it worse for us. Okay, and who's to blame? We are to blame. That's the meaning of accumulation. You are actually in the suffering that we have, we endure, we undergo is really self-inflicted. Okay? Now it does sound pessimistic, but then the next truth that the Buddha says is that, okay, so far that's the truth about human existence. You see, it's a lot of suffering. Okay? All of it is really self-inflicted. But there's a way to end suffering. Okay? And that state of where there's no suffering is called nirvana. It's called extinction. That's a Dharma of extinction. Alright? So there is a state of happiness, of bliss that can be attained. And I as a Buddha have attained it already. I'm teaching you that. Okay? That state is called extinction or nirvana. And the way to get there is called a way. A path of cultivation is called the way. Okay? Those are the four truths that will transcend our suffering, will transcend our human existence. Alright? That's why the Dharma of Four Noble Truths is very, very important part of human knowledge. Okay? Now, that's why it's called Transcendental Dharma. Because it transcends the suffering and transcends the three realms of existence that was known to mankind before. Before, until the teaching of the Four Noble Truths, the highest level of wisdom that mankind can attain was 8th level of samadhi, which is incredibly amount of wisdom. Okay? Does that mean that the Buddha Dharma is reject Hinduism? Does it reject Catholicism? Does it reject all the religions, Taoism, you name it? What do you think? Not at all. Not at all. It's about human wisdom. Okay? All the other approaches, the other religions are basically different approaches to enhancing the human wisdom. Okay? And therefore, when we call it transcendental, doesn't mean that there's a comparison. It's really a description of these facts. The fact is that with the Hindu approach to wisdom, for example, the highest you can reach is a certain level of liberation. You know, when you reach the 8th level of samadhi, you can sustain a level of concentration, level of wisdom that is incredible. But that's still not ultimate yet. Okay? And the better level is called first stage arhat. Much better. And then second stage and third stage. And the fourth one, which is the most extraordinary. It is so blissful when you reach the samadhi of an arhat. When you reach the level of samadhi, or the level of wisdom of an arhat, you have ended a tremendous amount of suffering. And the bliss you experience is out of this world. Alright? So, that's the meaning of liberation, the meaning of the end of suffering. Any questions so far?
That if it can be changed like that, then it's not a part of our nature. Is that correct, then?
Good question. What do you think? Is it something that is an attitude change, and therefore it's not a part of our nature? Is it something that's acquired? Is that, in other words, right? Or is it what is it exactly? The state of an arhat. Okay? Let me backtrack. Let me ask you, what is the state of the first dhyana? What is it? Let's go low. Let's be reasonable. What is the state of dhyana? First dhyana is what?
Bliss outside of other people's.
Yeah, it's first of all, first dhyana is a state of concentration. All right. When you first reach first dhyana, it means you can concentrate a certain way. Your concentration level is much higher, for example, than an ordinary person. For example, Tiger Woods. Okay, you know Tiger Woods may be known as the most successful golfer so far, financially as well as professionally. Well, what he does is that you notice when he competes, he's not always the best. Easy. The first round he trails. Second rounds he trails. During the final rounds, that's when he comes around. That's what he does consistently. Okay? What does it mean? It means that when it counts, he could concentrate and not get distracted. Whereas his competitors, when they had to perform, they fall prey to the pressure. Does it make sense to you? So if you have the ability to concentrate, you concentrate on the stroke production instead of getting distracted by what if, the kind of what if questions that pop up in your mind. Okay? That's why concentration, the ability to concentrate, is so important. You're able to concentrate on the task at hand when you need to. That's when it matters. That's what differentiates a champion from a runner-up. Okay? That's 80% of the battle, let me assure you, actually 60%. The other 40% is what, do you know? Blessings. Even if you have good concentration, but if you don't have enough blessings, you can't win. Okay, folks? That's the truth about life. Life has to be balanced. Yes, it's true that you have to have the ability to concentrate when it matters, but also you need to cultivate your blessings as well. Okay? That's why Buddhism, Mahayana embraces, for example, Catholicism, because Catholicism excels at teaching you about creating blessings. Okay? They do it very well. They create a worldwide infrastructure for us to create blessings for ourselves. That's remarkable. Okay? They do it better than the Buddhists. Okay? So the Buddhist, as a Mahayana person, I like to piggyback on that and utilize it. Because, for example, I would encourage the people who even practice Buddhism to go to the what are those places called? The place where they feed the homeless. Okay, go there and volunteer your work, and you see you will have a wonderful experience. Let me tell you why. Because these homeless people are something else. You go there, you try it, in those soup kitchens, and you see what I mean. They are incredible beings. They have a certain level of wisdom that is not available to us ordinary people. Okay? So, why not build on top of the goodness? Build on top of each other's strengths. Okay? That's what wisdom is about. Wisdom is not about something that is newly acquired. It isn't at all. Wisdom, as an answer to your question, is the uncovering of the wisdom. That's the Buddhist explanation. Okay? For example, you can talk to a lot of Catholic nuns, and they would tell you that all of a sudden one day they woke up and they realized that they like to become a nun and serve God. Okay? And give up their ordinary life and then have a life that's much simpler, much kinder. They decided to give as a purpose in life. Okay? That to me is so beautiful. That wisdom is something that simply that they uncover, that's available already. Okay? And let me tell you also, is a secret about, as a teacher, I recognize people with various level of abilities. And my job as a teacher is to help you uncover your level of wisdoms. Okay? And then once you reach your current level of wisdom, your potential, then the next thing for me is to help you enhance it. Okay? So as a teacher, I help uncover people's potential and then unveil even more potential they have available right now. Just like, for example, when you're born, we are born with an inherent level amount of strength. For example, men are physically stronger than women. Okay? Because basically, men is endowed with more physical strength. That's part of our makeup. Okay? And when you go to the gym and lift weights, you are unveiling the strength that's inherent in you already. Alright? That's wisdom. Nature of wisdom is just exactly the same thing. Okay? So, that's a common fallacy of the non-Buddhist teachings. They seem to claim that the wisdom or all those are attainments that outside of you. In Buddhism, we are all inherently born with it already. Ultimately, we all have the same level of wisdom as the Buddhas. Our level of wisdom, our inherently born level of wisdom is the same as the Buddhas, by the way. Just because we don't have the same level of wisdom doesn't mean that we're not the same as the Buddhas. From the Buddha's perspective, by the way, we are Buddhas. They don't look at us any differently from themselves. Okay? They say that these folks here are endowed, these living beings are endowed with the Buddha nature. The wisdom are temporarily covered up. It's a matter of time. Okay? So some of us will begin to unfold our wisdom by, let's say, learning the Taoist philosophy. Okay? Or some of us will decide to go to school and unfold our intellectual wisdom by learning about, by getting a PhD. Okay? That's wisdom too. That's part of wisdom too. Okay? So each of us chooses a different path about uncovering our own level of wisdom. Okay? And what the Buddha did by teaching the Four Noble Truths is that he unveiled the first addition to human knowledge base that enables us to reach the level of wisdom called arhatship. That is not available before. That's why the Four Noble Truths is very important. Attainment in mankind, in human knowledge. Okay? It's there. No differently than you have tons of theses. You go to the library, PhD thesis is there for you to investigate. All right? Does that answer your question? All right. And so arhatship is called a fruition of the way. So far, so good? All right. Then the bhikshus expressed their doubts and asked the Buddha how to resolve them. The world-honored one taught and exhorted them until one by one they awakened and gained enlightenment. After that, they each put their palms together and respectfully gave their assent and followed the Buddha's instructions. After the Buddha explained the Four Noble Truths, when he finished explaining the Four Noble Truths, his 5 attendants, ex-attendants, became arhats. All right? They opened the wisdom. Does that sort of answer your question last week? You asked, how is it possible? How is it possible? How is it possible you listen to the Dharma and you become enlightened? See, didn't you teach us that in a Chan class you have to cross your legs and bear the pain, grit your teeth, and without pain you can't make progress? Right? Well, I misled you a little bit. I taught you about the fundamentals of cultivation. I taught you one of the most powerful tools in Mahayana teaching to help you unfold wisdom very quickly. Okay? But that's not the only way. Because it turns out that one of the students she abhors pain in the legs. She refuses to deal with pain in her legs. She runs away from pain in her legs. Okay? Given the first chance. So to ask her to endure the leg pains at the price of reaching first dhyana is not feasible. Okay? And for the sake of, in the interest of protecting the innocent or the guilty, I will not name names. But she happens to be present here in the audience tonight as a clue. So I told her, on the last class I said, it's true that you don't have to endure the leg pains to reach first dhyana. Okay? In fact, for that last class I devised 3 different expedients to help you get there. Okay? And when I talked to that lady, I said, I'm going to tell you one, because I struck you off this one already. I will not allow you to use this expedient now that I teach you. Anyway, she reached first dhyana without having to endure a lot of leg pains. There's some discomfort. But it turns out that now I'm unveiling you one more way of reaching samadhis. Would you like to know? It's even better than leg pains, or not enduring leg pains. Anything is better. That's the response. Let me put it this way. I hesitated for a long time to talk about this because I do not wish to make it a big deal out of it. But it is consistent with what happened when the Buddha unveiled the Four Noble Truths, and all five attendants became arhats, just like that. All right. A similar kind of thing happened last week during our third lecture. Many of you made it to the next level. That's why I blurted. I said, "Oh, this guy." I said, "What happened? This guy here, I've been trying to help him reach the next level, and he just would not cooperate." And last week I looked at him. What? When did you get there? He reached the next level, and that's why I alluded to that. I don't know if you remember that. And then I look on the other side and I said, he's not the only one. Okay, so I'm willing to reveal 3 among several. Would you like, or 2, maybe 2 or 3? Your choice now. You like 2 or 3? 3? Do I hear 2? 3?
Why is it 2 or 3? Why not all?
Because everything is done in 3s.
Everything? Okay.
That's why.
So! Okay. There are 3 people who are in 5th samadhi already. 5th. I will tell 2. I will reveal 2 because if I tell all 3, then it's boring. Okay. And I tell a 3rd one. Okay. 3rd one is my choice. Just to head off any attempt to influence me. The 3rd one, not 5th level samadhi, I reveal this person first because she's a low level. 1st samadhi. Okay? Linda made it to 1st samadhi. She never learned how to practice Chan. Right? You dropped in and out. She liked a few things here and there. Piqued your interest. Okay. And she reached first dhyana without learning how to do Chan. How about that? See how powerful the Dharma is. Okay? Okay, now, since then, for the sake of protecting those who are higher level, because I know there is a tendency for people who know about my students to give them a hard time and test them out. Okay? Because I have quite a few of you. So for those who wish to test you guys, they have to be careful because some of you reached 8th, some of you reached 5th, some of you reached 4th, and so on. So we will not review names because our lecture is being recorded. You didn't turn your recorder on, by the way. At least you have 2. You see, that's why we have a backup system. This person here, I certified her to be 3rd at the end of the Chan class. She made it to 5th last week. That's right. That's right. 5th. You the nameless person. Do you know that a lot of nuns and monks would be below your level of kung fu already. And that's why it's better they don't know who you are. And the next person is the one who asked me the question about how can you get there just from listening. Yeah, just like that. That's how powerful the Dharma is. And you guys are not the only one, by the way. We just there, you just get there. Okay? Any challenges, any questions? So in the small scale, yeah, it's true. Frankly, you asked me, I was disappointed that none of you made it to arhatship. I thought I did a good job explaining the Four Noble Truths. But then again, I didn't get the arhatship either when I first listened to it. So, at the rate you're going, by the way, you're going to exceed me pretty soon. Because it took me forever to get where I reached second dhyana took me about maybe 2.5 years of practice, full-time practice, mind you. And that's pretty darn good since I had no teachers. Okay? Look at the famous meditation teachers out there. Okay?
Meditation teachers?
Yes.
Well, they're not.
They are first tops. First. The last class I reviewed, this is as high as I reach. Okay? Full time, they spend a lifetime investigating it, practicing it. And yet they never were transmitted the Dharma to make it past where they got. Alright? It's about knowing what to do to get there. Okay? So you don't have to believe it. You could say, this arhatship here is nonsense to me. Fine. The thesis paper will be there in the library. Okay? When you're ready, you come back, you investigate it, then you know how to get there. So it's really important. That's why when I taught you earlier about requesting the Dharma, you're requesting the Dharma to be recorded so that the future people, okay, who will listen to it, who will investigate it, who will read it, maybe they will reach the same level of attainment as you have or higher. Alright? That's why the Dharma request is so important. Alright? Any questions? Why is it so fast for you? That's what happened with the bhikshus. Bhikshus, by the way, is Sanskrit. It is not translated because it has 3 meanings. First meaning is that it's destroy evil. Evil meaning greed, hatred, and stupidity. That's the evil in Buddhism. Okay? Number 2 is the frightened of Mara. Mara is the heavenly demon king. He lives in the 5th heaven where my dad is. So my dad is one of his subjects right now. My last dad, not the current one. My late dad, my late father. So this demon king here, one of the kings there is Mara. He's very powerful. Okay? He can confuse all of us before we realize it. He has tremendous spiritual powers. Okay? And the 3rd meaning is a mendicant. He's a beggar. That's a bhikshu. That's the kind of lifestyle that we choose to live. Alright? So, the bhikshus are the first order that the Buddhist order, it's called Sangha, that the Buddha created, that also allow women to become left home people as well. So the Buddha created a lot of firsts for mankind. It's really, really, truly the first religious order that allows both men and women. All right. So the bhikshus expressed the doubts. This is part of the subtlety of the teaching here. Remember these 5 bhikshus, okay? As soon as they became enlightened, the Buddha said, okay, I accept you to be monks. Okay, left home people, you will be the first left home people in the Buddhist order. Okay? And these are arhats now. Okay? So you can imagine the level of kung fu they had. They were basically, by the time they listened to the Four Noble Truths, they were about 8th samadhi. Okay? And after listening, they became arhats. Tremendous level, amount of blessings they have, by the way, to be able to reach that. Okay? But they came with a lot of baggage. Okay? They have, when you investigate the other teachings, okay, they said, okay, for example, in Hinduism, the highest level of wisdom you can learn is about the 4 Vedas, the book of the 4 Vedas. You heard of that? That's the highest level. Hindu wisdom is contained in the book of the 4 Vedas. Okay, and they explain this. They explain that. They list out the principles, the theories, and so on. Okay, so they came with that baggage. Now, after they became enlightened, the Four Noble Truths, they understand the Four Noble Truths. Then they begin to see discrepancies from their prior beliefs and the Buddhist teaching. Okay, that's what the doubt is about. And this is why it's so important that you look for a teacher in Mahayana, because the teacher saves you time. Let me give you my personal example. When I was practicing and I was on my own, no teacher, no physical teacher, for me to investigate, for example, the Sutra in 42 sections, okay? There's only one book in English that is published explained by Venerable YongHua. There's only one book here. The rest is in Chinese. The other English translations are horrible. I ask you, if you're curious, read this once. And you go on the internet and find anything else in English that has 42 sections and read that translation. It is so awkward, so inaccurate. Okay? So, for me to find the actual, even to look at the English translations, I get very confused because of different translations, leave alone the individual inaccuracies involved. And then I went on to Chinese, because I went to Taiwan for 2 years to learn Chinese. Because who's going to teach me? Only thing I have is books that's published. Okay? So I learned Chinese. How much of a language can you learn in 2 years? Not a whole lot. Okay? So I learned how to use a dictionary and looked up a lot of things. And then I picked up a lot of books from different known monks and nuns. Okay? And they explain, they disagree with each other. And I found out that, first of all, their explanations are inaccurate. Okay? They confuse themselves. They don't understand the meaning of the principles. Okay? And number 2 is that even some of them, later on I found out, some of them who are pretty good, pretty wise, who are enlightened already, their level of understanding still has flaws, has big holes. So what I found myself is that every time I pick up a book to read, okay, what happens is my mind is constantly sifting through it and sieving it instead of absorbing it. You know what I'm talking about? It's just that it's always jumping back and forth because I have no reference points. You know what I mean? Well, if you do research at all, you know that problem. Okay? Because the reference point, when people write down, commit it down on paper, they're coming from different reference points. If you choose the wrong reference point, then it's meaningless. You get confused. Okay? So for example, you listen to the Dharma explained by a person, let's say a monk who is in, let's say, 8th level of samadhi. You can find that person. The reference point is a person who can see as high as 8th level wisdom. You see? So it's the same text, but they can penetrate it up, they can reach the perspective of an 8th level samadhi. That's why I compare 8th level samadhi to 80th floor. That's the perspective you get when you get up there. That's it. When you reach first stage arhatship, it's much higher perspective. Much, much higher. That's why even from 8th to first stage arhat, it's not that easy. It's very difficult. Okay? So you have to reconcile a lot of baggage that I accrued and from the stuff I pick up as well. That's why these bhikshus, this is the chance to express the doubts, the discrepancies in their understanding. Okay? And the Buddha then helped them resolve it. So drawing near a good knowing advisor really saves you time. Okay?
How did you resolve the...
I basically crossed my legs and all of them gel together. Okay? And it came from different directions, and then I crossed my legs and realized this monk here is only at a certain level, and therefore it explains why he or she can explain to a certain level only. Okay? I read people, for example, people who are very well read. They know a lot of theories. They can say Buddhism theories from A to Z, for example. Let's say academician can give you a lot of Buddhist theories, but they only understand it at the level of the words. So it's with the perspective of an academician will not reach the 10th floor as far as I'm concerned. Okay? When you reach the 10th floor, your perspective is different. The first dhyana guy, the first dhyana person, will have a much broader perspective than a lower level person. Okay? So it's a matter of reconciling things. If you don't have a teacher, you do it yourself. And that's why you waste a lot of time. You lose a lot of time reconciling the discrepancies. Okay? And that's what a teacher can do for you. Okay? Now, why am I doing that? Because that's what I want to share with you. Okay? Wisdom is shared. It's not for sale. It's not for self-benefit. Okay? Why did I choose to reveal those three people tonight? Because they belong to the second wave and the third wave of my students. The first wave, I helped them reach 8th samadhi very quickly, in 2 years' time, which is extremely fast. Okay? It turns out that the second wave and the third wave made it where they have so far even faster than the first wave. Notice that? You realize that? They got to 5th quicker than you and the other disciple. And the last one, my baby disciple, reached 5th the quickest. 5 months' time, she reached fifth samadhi. That's unheard of. It's nothing. Trust me. It's nothing. It's not that fast. Trust me. It's like everything else. You can go very fast, because everything are perfect for you right now. But then you run to red lights. It equalizes everyone. Okay? So, why did I review this? Because I teach you this because you need to build a proper foundation for you to progress. It's not where you are, okay, how quickly you get there. The question is how long you're going to be stuck where you are. That's a real problem. That's a real challenge. To get there is not that easy, okay, but to get out of there is much harder. That's my message to you. Okay, that's why it's much better to build a proper foundation so that when you have enough, when the conditions are right, when you accrue enough blessings and the conditions are right, then you leap just like that. In my retinue, I've seen people enlightened already. So there's nothing to be arrogant about, no matter who you are right now. Visible or invisible, I don't care. Okay? Don't look outside, look inside. Prepare yourself. Build a proper foundation. It's about you, it's not about me. It's about you. You build a proper foundation, you have the proper foundation, you get there quicker. How do you get there? This Dharma is about doing good. It's about helping others. If you have the kind of mindset, you have less trouble in your practice. Let me assure you. That's why I bring it up right now, because I want to replant the seed in all of you, for you to understand, okay, that it's about doing good for others, learning how to benefit others. That's going to bring you the utmost happiness. And how do you bring happiness to others? By being happy and learning how to make others happy. It has to be in conjunction. Okay? This is the difference between Mahayana and the Four Noble Truths practitioners. The Four Noble Truths is that the Hinayanas, the Arhats, is that, Buddha, you're right. The world is so much suffering. Okay? And this body of mine gives me so much grief, gives me so many afflictions. If I look at it, I see more afflictions than happiness. I see more unhappy moments than happy moments. It's like going to Disneyland. You stand in line for 2 hours, on a busy day. Okay? That's the only time I get there. It seems like holidays, people come here and they say, the people from out of town that come here and they say, where do you want to go? Disneyland. Why? Because Peyton goes there. Okay? And Super Bowl champions go there. So we go on holidays and we stand in line for 2 hours, and then the ride lasts for less than 2 minutes. That's really life for all of us. Think about it. Huh? You work so hard, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, okay? And you sleep 8 hours. So how much fun do you have? How much fun can you have? Think about it. It's a human condition. So these arhat, they say, Buddha, you're so right. I'm so glad you reminded me that life is so much suffering. And thank you so much for teaching me a way to end my suffering. Goodbye. I end my suffering. Thanks a lot. That's what they did. You realize arhats, a lot of arhats kill themselves.
They what?
They kill themselves. Because they said,
Is that
no, arhats are beyond 8 already.
well, what's the one that was only 8?
Which one are you talking about?
The ones that don't want to help others?
If they don't, you don't need to help others to reach arhatship, by the way. If you want, I can teach you how to get there. Okay? The only problem is when you get there, it is so hard to get out of it. It is so hard. It is very, very hard, let me assure you. That's why I'd rather help you plant the seeds for you to get out of being stuck instead of getting there quickly. Make sense to you? It's your choice. You can always come up to me personally, privately, and say, Master, forget about helping others. Forget it. Let me help me. I'm more important. Okay. I don't care. And that's fine. If that's what you want, I help you. Honest. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because one of my disciples came to me last week and he said, my mother, she's dying. She's a devout Catholic. She's not going to be Buddhist. I said, okay, so what's wrong with that? Does it mean you don't help her? Does it mean I don't help her? What is it? Is that Mahayana, what Mahayana is about? That you have to be Buddhist before I help you? That you have to be Buddhist before you're happy? That's not Mahayana, let me assure you. That's stupidity. Okay? People, living beings, will do and go after things that turn them on. That's it. Okay? There's no sense in convincing them otherwise. It's up to you to tell me what you want. The Mahayana person, if you really want to learn how to help others, you learn how to help others get what they want, not what you want. That's Mahayana. And that's why if you want to go to draw near God, I teach you a much better Dharma, to draw near God, to become a God. Okay? You believe in Allah, I teach you how to get close to Allah. You want to go to the heavens and have 74 virgins waiting for you? You don't have to kill people. I teach you much better Dharma. Okay? It's not only one, you know that famous Western saying, all the roads lead to Roma? Huh? To Rome? All roads lead to Rome. There's plenty of roads. Okay? The Buddhist roads, the non-Buddhist roads, the Catholic roads, the Muslim roads. That's part of the fun of human existence. Try different things, try different food. Okay? So, you learn. That's what makes the Mahayana so fascinating to me, is that by learning how to help others, you learn about yourself, about your own happiness. Does it make sense to you? Because if you only focus on, let's say, making money, making fortune, making a lot of creating fame for yourself, you're focusing on yourself only. Your domain is still so limited, and you still are not able to effectively deal with the environment yet. Remember the last time I explained to you that you cannot be happy by yourself. If Your neighbor is unhappy. Okay, I'll give you an example. My neighbor just sold her house. And you know what smart people do when they sell their house? They fumigate it. And guess what happens? Yeah, the whole colony came to me.
It did?
Yeah. They came to me with vengeance. They said, yeah, this is just so fascinating to me because I opened the door one morning and I saw this cloud of hatred. And it serves me right because I have a vow of helping others get reborn into Amitabha's Pure Land if they come to me and ask for it. Okay? And so somehow they knew about that, and the whole colony came to me, including the king. Okay? And they were pretty upset. Okay? Can you imagine yourself living so peacefully in your family, your neighborhood, and all of a sudden, for no rhyme reason, someone comes in and bombs the heck out of you and kills all of you and your family? You watch your own children suffocate to death. Okay? Yes. Innocent, harmless children dying in front of your eyes. Even your own spouse gasping for breath, for air. Because that's what they do. Why? The fumigation technology nowadays is to take out all oxygen in the air and they make it airtight, and therefore you suffocate to death.
It also has a pesticide in it. It's a killer.
It has a killer in there as well. Charming. And guess what? So all this hatred is directed at home. You think it gets dispersed just like that? Someone has to pay the price. Well, I don't know if it makes sense to you or not. Have you ever had hatred towards anyone? You know how easy it is for you to let go of the hatred? It lasts for years and decades, doesn't it? It has to be resolved, doesn't it? And there we are smart people, selling a house, making a ton of money, and then what do we do next? We kill a whole colony of living beings who also have, just like us, the Buddha nature.
How do Buddhists sell homes then? Because required by law to have the termite.
Well, that's part of what we call common karma, I guess. In my personal case, I forbid them to come to my house. Because I know you come... Yeah. If you come to my house, I know eventually I have to kill you. I say, okay, you don't come to my house. I forbid you to come in. Give you something more concrete. When I live in a temple, in a Los Angeles temple, same case when I lived in Los Gatos up north in San Jose. At night, you walk in the kitchen, you turn on the lights. What do you see? Cockroaches. Okay? It didn't bother me then in Los Gatos, but it bothered the heck out of me at the temple, my master's temple in Los Angeles, Koreatown. Okay? You go to, because it's a big temple, we have a lot of people and we have a lot of food. You turn on the light, turn on the switch, you see a sea of cockroaches running. It's very embarrassing because we are left home people. Okay? What do? Can we kill them? No, we're not supposed to.
No.
Can we ignore it?
No.
Can't either. So what do?
We have to believe.
What if they don't listen?
Use a charm mantra.
Keep them in that line.
It doesn't work always. Doesn't always work.
They told us before.
It doesn't always work. You ask him, sure, he'll tell you sometimes it doesn't work.
I'm sure, but that's what they said.
He told me personally. He warned me already. They're good man. I mean, he taught me so much. So what do?
Live with them and have them.
See, I'm talking about my own experience as a monk, okay? This is so embarrassing. I don't mind telling you these things because...
Could you give them an outline saying, in 3 days you got to move, otherwise I'm going to kill you?
What if they say, who are you to tell me what to do?
Uh-oh.
Who are you? That's what happens.
But if you have compassion towards something, don't you offer them their choice? Do you want to stay around here and be armed? Or
First of all, you assume that they can understand you. Okay? And most of the time they don't. Number two, even if you have some kung fu, some skills, they can understand you. Okay? If the one thing you also need is they respect you or not. If they don't respect you, then they're not going to listen to you. Who are you to tell me what to do? You are a low-life monk. I'm a king cockroach. I don't need to beg for my food. My subjects bring me food. I have 20 wives. How many wives do you have? Right? So it could happen. So in my case, in that temple, what happened is a lay person poisoned them. Set up cockroach hotels, motels, whatever. It is so embarrassing to me to tell you the story again because I allow someone else to kill them on my behalf. So what do I do nowadays? I know that my house where I live is my brother's house, so it's not mine. So I have no right. So when he sells it, he'll have to fumigate too. Okay? So what did I do? I said, don't come in, don't you dare. And so far I have been lucky. And I have the same cockroach problem, okay? So I did the same thing. I said, don't you come in. You come in, then we have to kill you. So that you don't come in. So you know what they do?
Go next door.
Live outside.
They go to our garage. That's the only place where you can find them.
What if your cat takes care of the problem? Are you responsible for that cat action?
Do you condone it?
What?
Do you try to stop it?
Oh, I mean, it's the June bug is just dropped in front of us already.
Yeah, it's really not the cat's fault, is it?
What? Not the cat?
No, really, it's not the cat's fault.
It's the cockroach's karma.
Yeah, it's settling a karma. We have nothing to do with that. If you can live with that, there's nothing wrong with that. I can live with that too. Not my problem.
Going back to the story about there's a swarm of termites.
Well, I'm not sure. Basically, for me to help them be reborn, I have to help them get rid of their hatred first.
So it just cost them.
If they don't get rid of it, they're gonna keep on falling. You know, to cycle in samsara, meaning you cycle in the 6 realms. Remember, 6 realms. Okay. Right now, they're one of the lower realms. They are in this insect realm. Very tough to get out of it. Okay. Yeah, the Western Blisssphere land is even better than the heavens. Okay, much better. So you have to take care of things first. What they don't have available to them, for example, is that because they come to me as an animal realm, they don't have the stuff that's available, the tools that's available in the human realm. For example, if your family dies, members of your family dies, and you say, let me help plant the seeds of blessings for rebirth, then you can go and buy, let's say, a plaque. Okay? Because that's an available human dharma. These insects do not have that dharma available, even though I would like to help them. But it's only with the dharmas available to them. Okay?
Is there a dharma for insects then?
But it's limited.
Very limited.
It's very limited because my job is to teach humans and gods.
Yeah.
not to teach insects. Insects are much lower. They're not they're not in the planning horizon. They're there if they show up incidentally as part of my work to teach humans and gods, okay? Then I help. Because I do not exclude. Same thing. Arhats come to me and say, okay, I heard about this bodhisattva thing. It's kind of cool. You don't seem to be afraid of me. I'm an arhat. I'm an arhat. You don't seem to be afraid of me. Maybe you know something that I don't know. Teach me. I teach. Same thing. Okay? There's no discrimination between an arhat or, let's say, a termite. Okay? But they all have different tools, different channels available to them. That's why this birth and death thing is very serious business, because you go astray, it's very tough to get out of. All right? Any other questions?
If you're happy in one phase,
You don't have to.
So that's okay. You stay.
Absolutely. You're happy being where you are. Okay? For example, you reached second last week. And if you're happy with that, fine. Stay there. Don't have to get out. Okay? But on the other hand, if you're curious about the fact that there's a third is even more blissful. Third is even more wonderful. Okay? I wonder what I'm missing. yeah, definitely, right? So if you're curious about that, then you have a seed of discontent, isn't there? Okay? Now, if you don't do anything about it, fine. Don't do anything about it. But you do something about it, and there's a Dharma to do something about it. Okay? It's all about your personal choice. Okay? That's Mahayana. I want you to understand that every time you look at someone else, you should look at that as a living being, and you should have deep respect for their sovereignty. Do not infringe on their space. Whoever they are, could be a serial killer, whoever that person is, makes no difference. Because remember the story I told you about Angulimala. Okay, even the worst person can flip it just like that. You do not reject anyone. Okay? Every one of us is able to flip and change. No, you don't need, you're happy, be happy. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, that's part of being human. We're greedy. We're greedy for more. We're not happy enough. Even when you're happy, tomorrow you're still happy, and then next week it's beginning to get old. This happiness is getting old. That's our nature. Okay? And there's no need to turn a blind eye on the world. Just keep it open and learn. Shelf things. Okay? There's no need to reject. Just keep an open mind. That's it. Anything else?
Did the termites actually come to your house? To its house?
Well, let me put it this way. I don't teach you a lot of Dharma as a medal, because it's not a pleasant thing. Let me put it that way. To deal with the hatred from a colony of termites is not a lot of fun. Especially, you have to realize that they came to me for help. They brought their baggage with them. serves me right for offering to help. Who asked you, right? Okay. So I tell you that, I relate to you that anecdote because you have to be careful about the killing karma you create. Okay? It is very, very difficult to undo. Your sicknesses is really from your killing karma. That's eventually all the killing you've done now falls back on your body and shortens your life. You cannot escape it.
I didn't feel good today.
You think about it. You think about you're making money, earning a living. Okay? Be very careful about what you do at work even. Why were you? Because eventually it comes back. It goes around. Trust me. The termite thing right there, okay? If I didn't meddle, they can come back and get back at that my neighbor. Someone has to pay the price. Okay? The hatred is always directed at somebody. Okay? So be very, very careful. You cannot escape the law of cause and effect. You create a karma, a killing karma, you have to pay for it. If you meddle into others' karmic retributions, you have to pay the price for that. That's why I teach you what? Do not meddle until I tell you until I allow you. Because you can't handle it yet. You cannot handle it. Trust me. It's more than you can take. Yeah.
Last year, where I lived, they tended the house. However, I took everything out of the house that they sent.
Yeah.
Do I have to pay for any of that?
Probably not directly.
Thanks.
Let me put it this way. Okay. When you sell your property, the buyer will insist that you get fumigation, right? You can't help it.
They do an inspection, and if you fail an inspection, you have to fumigate. And almost every house in our neighborhood.
But almost everyone insists on fumigation anyway, as a precaution.
We all
okay?
have.
It's required by the bank so that your building doesn't fall down.
Correct.
They give you the loan.
But now you know, you do have a choice. Okay? You do have a choice when you buy the property of not asking for it. And you can ask us to meddle.
Okay.
You see what I mean? You have a human dharma available to you.
I don't think that would work because the bank requires it. They want to certify by the termite people to make the loan. If you pay the cash for it.
Then you meddle in other ways. Okay? You say, okay, we can meddle, we can come in, for example, and say, please go away. We're going to fumigate the house. Okay? And then some of them will refuse. For example, you ask the elderly people to vacate the house. They say, let me die here. This is my house. What are you going to do? Take them by force? Evict them by force? You can't. So some of them will die because of that. And then you get a plaque for them to help them. So you have human dharmas available to deal with the problem. Okay? That's the nature of the business. Yes. Now she's interested. Sorry?
Well, if everyone gets rid of their termites or ask them to go away from their house.
Oh, they go to the neighbors temporarily and then come back. But then you don't have the kind of credit that I have with the termite kings that enables me to say, please don't let them come into my house because But that's life. Okay. We do have more tools. You're learning about more. You're aware of more tools to deal with it. Okay. we're taking away their lives. We shorten their lives. That's what we're going to have, a similar kind of reaction. It happens to us. Fair is fair. Okay? Anything else?
Could you make a deal with the buyers of your house to reduce the price by $1,100 and they could do the termite removal? Then are you out of it, even though you know they probably will when you go?
There is a flip side to it as well. For example, if you have to do the fumigation, but on the other hand, you buy a plaque for them. So actually, you're creating two kinds of karmas, aren't you?
You buy a plaque for insects?
Absolutely. It's a Pure Land Dharma. It's called your
Household, everything.
No, there's another kind. You see, there's so many things that I haven't taught you yet. There's one kind of plaque that's for your enemies of past lives. Okay? And debtors, enemies of past lives. When you do that, so what happens is that you're creating a killing karma here. Okay? Try to alleviate it as much as you can. Okay? Because you know eventually you have to pay for it. It's one way or the other. Right? And then you create another karma and you alleviate that and say, okay, let me plant some blessings on your behalf. Okay? So that in the future, when it's time for you to repay, they have enough reasons not to give you a hard time. Okay? Or when let's say in the future when you're supposed to be sick because they get back at you and they want to shorten your life, they get back at you. A third person comes in and say, okay, this is what happened. Okay, I know there's a blood death here, but remember in the past they gave you some blessings already. So can we strike a deal here? So it makes it easier. You get this room for negotiation. All right. So we do have more tools available at our disposal. That's Mahayana. That's a fascinating thing about Mahayana. Okay? That it's meant for you to realize that, be aware of that every single action you create has a consequence. Okay? And then you learn about different ways to deal with the consequences. Okay? And then when you get wiser, you learn how to stop creating bad karmas. That's what arhats can do. When you have the wisdom, the proper wisdom, you stop creating evil karma. You stop hurting others. All right? So the World Honor One taught them and encouraged them to practice. And this is individual teachings. Each one of us individually, okay, how to unstuck ourselves, okay, until we get awakened and become enlightened. And after that, they put the palms together, respectfully gave their assent. What does it mean? And follow the Buddha's instruction. Basically, gave their assent, meaning that, yes, I understand, and yes, I promise to follow this teaching. Okay, and I will put that to practice. That's the meaning of the last sentence. They said, I understand, I agree with the principles here, and I promise to practice it myself. Okay, and this is about, basically, this ends the preface section, which basically, the preface section is one of the three sections of Buddhist Sutra. That basically one of their functions is that it gives you the 6 realizations that more or less certifies that this is a Buddhist, came from the Buddha. This teaching came from the Buddha. So it's the 6 things that make up a Buddhist sutra. One is the Dharma. Okay, there's a Dharma. It's a Buddhist Dharma called Four Noble Truths. Number 2 is an audience, okay, that really was a witness and was actually the recipient of the Dharma that the Buddha explained. So the audience was Ashnata Kondinya and the other 4 bhikshus. And the time is, and the speaker, and the place, and the hearing. The hearing is basically is that it's a certification of the person who wrote down the sutra. Because when the Buddha explains the sutra, there was no writing. There's no writing available 3,000 years ago. So the person was committed later to writing. Okay, that's why the person who committed it down to writing certified it. Okay, so that's what the meaning of the 6th component is. Meaning, yes, this as a person, okay, I certify that this teaching came from the Buddha, and you can trust me. Okay, because it turns out that the person who certified that this is a Buddhist teaching is really an arhat, a higher level. He's a sage, so you can trust sages. All right. Anything else? So this is the end of the preface section. I'd like to keep going, but you guys seem to be so interested in termites and stuff. So I'm going to end the lecture here tonight a little bit early because I need to go over one quick thing with you. Okay? Last question before we wrap it up.
In it talks about they express their doubts.
Yes.
Such as what kind of doubts?
Any kind of doubts.
So after he had
anything that's unclear in their mind, they could ask the Buddha. That's the meaning of that.
Right. So you were saying that when he finished telling them the 4 Noble Truths, they had all achieved 4th level arhatship.
Yes.
And even after achieving that, they still had doubts.
4th level arhatship is a certain level of wisdom only. It's not ultimate. Okay? To get to the Buddha's wisdom, there's still quite a ways. It's so far apart. So far away. From arhatship to what in Mahayana we call enlightenment. Okay? Mahayana enlightenment is a very precise level. It's so far away. So far. That's a different level, different animal altogether. Yes? Anything else? Okay, we wrap it here. Let me talk to you first. This is about the month into the lecture series, and it's time to make adjustments. I need some feedback from you. Okay? You have to understand where I'm coming from. Okay? I'm doing this because I was requested. It's not my own choice. Okay? If you give me a choice, I'd be back in my brother's house, crossing my legs, and having my fun, my personal fun. Okay? It's because I was requested to do this, that's why I did this. Okay? Along with that, I decided to teach the Pure Land Dharma to all of you. Okay? That Dharma is really a very, very powerful Dharma. That's the same Dharma you can use, for example, to help termites. This is the assembly Dharma now, meaning we practice it together. Chan is your individual practice. Okay? So I introduce you to Pure Land Dharma and also introduce you to the power of the Buddha Dharma. Okay? But I need to understand how useful you find it. Because it turns out that this facility is too big. Okay? Much bigger than we need. Okay? So I'm thinking of, and this affects you. Okay, because if given the choice, I wouldn't want to spend the money. Oh, by the way, I owe you money for next month, right? Okay, so please remind me to give you a check. Okay, if I had a choice, I wouldn't be renting a place that I don't use half of it in the back. Okay, and but on the other hand, so I'm considering finding a different place, smaller. Okay, it affects you. I don't know what kind of place we find because we have a 30-day cancellation notice. We can. Oh yeah, we do.
Was that in the contract?
Yes, contract says we have 30 days to cancel the contract.
From the first.
So, for example, we give them a check for next month, and then we notify them as well. We like to cancel the contract, give them a 30-day notice. Okay.
Okay, that's not what I understood.
Yeah, all contract has a cancellation. That's how I read the contract. Okay, if you can't cancel, we stay here. Not a big deal. I'm saying that I believe that it can be canceled. Okay, so that we can find a different place. So if you could find out tomorrow and get back with me. Okay. Well, at worst they're going to charge a cancellation fee, whatever. Okay, but they can't contractually, legally speaking, they can't. They can't. There is a cancellation clause. Therefore, we can cancel it. So, I'm considering getting a smaller place. Okay, I don't know which one yet. Okay, and it's up to you. For example, to do this lecture here, lecture part, there are about 12 of you, approximately, on the average, 10, 12 of you. Okay. You can easily fit in my living room. Right? For the lecture part, okay, I can get a screen and then do, so we can save money on the rent itself. But the drawback of that is that I won't be able to do Pure Land. Okay? There's no room to do Pure Land. We need to serve, coambulate, that kind of thing. On the other hand, the plus of that side is that then I can do 2 hours of lecture instead of an hour and a half.
Can you do the Pure Land in the backyard?
I enter first Samadhi through Pure Land. The first dhyana through Pure Land. So what it means is conceivably you can, while walking, by the way, I was circumambulating and I entered first dhyana right there when I was walking. So fascinating. I didn't even know then it was first dhyana. It's years later than I realized that. So you guys are lucky I tell you where you are, because I went 2 years not knowing what to do or what's going on. But anyway, that's my kind of test that my teacher gave me, threw at me. We could, but you see, going back to the idea of doing good, because I'd rather use the money to print it so that to make it available to others later. Jack Chang, I talked to him briefly this week, chatted on Google Talk with him, and he said, "Why don't we have a website?" He asked me, "Are you coming up there for a lecture anytime soon?" Okay. And I said, no, not anytime soon, because who would request me? Okay, who would want to listen to my lecture? Even here. Actually, it turns out that 12 people is pretty good audience. Given your level, you're all gods and goddesses. You know that? There's no mortal here. It is that when you lecture, when you are a good lecturer, that's when the gods come and listen. The Christian God, for example, loves to go to Dharma lectures. That's how he got into trouble with his wife. But anyway, that's a different story. The gods will come and listen, and I chuckle when I remember that quotation, because I look at all you and say, huh? They're all gods and goddesses. I could say that last week. Before last week, I mean. So that's what I prefer to do, because we could put the money into the websites and the printing, that kind of thing, because trust me, even you guys who made it to fifth and higher, you should consider teaching Chan. I would help you. Okay? For example, Cerritos Citizen Center, Elderly Center, whatever, they have a Chan class, a meditation class. It's self-guided. You realize that? It's self-guided. And you can go to El Dorado Park or anywhere in your neighborhood, and you can teach meditation. I teach you how to teach meditation, and I'll support you. Okay? When you reach fifth and higher, you have enough kung fu to go out there against anyone. There aren't that many people who can exceed your meditation skills. And then you get on the internet, okay? You look at the meditation talks, whatever web they have. It's all garbage. They're all so confused about meditation. So we can do a lot of good. Trust me. Okay. So now that I tell you about that, we have to talk to Henry about canceling the contract. So we cancel the contract. If we could, it's going to be another 5 weeks. So we do have some time. Okay? What do you think? You want to keep on coming back here, or what is your preference?
Go to your house.
Huh?
Go to your house. Why couldn't we go out that sliding door and come around by the garage, by your kitchen door, and come in and go back into
the patio door is pretty wide. We can enter through the patio door and do the circumambulation.
Yeah.
And besides, some of you may not want to do the Pure Land anyway, because some of you are only interested in a lecture. That's fine. Okay? But I'm teaching you a special Pure Land Kung Fu that in the future you find it amazing, because there's a lot more I can explain to you. Just like the Sutra lectures, just like that, you sit there, you listen, also these magical things happen.
And we have a screen, I don't know how good it is still, and we have chairs, folding chairs that we could bring over.
Yeah, no, the seating is not a problem. It's just the circumambulation, that kind of thing. So for our class size, this is too big and real expensive. But the thing with the Pure Land, though, of my house, is that I don't have a sound system. That's my problem. Today is a huge difference with the wireless. You didn't notice the first 3 weeks. It's this one tune here, one tune there, and 3 more on the other side. And you know how tough it is for you even to hit the woodfish. It's very tough to pace it. It's a real kung fu right there too.
Yeah, I know.
So, huh?
My mind wonder, I'll lose my vision. But I'm talking about in your house. It's
At worst, I could buy an amplifier, just to make sure that we teach you the proper pacing and so that we have control. Because I don't want to scream. I can scream, but then I lose my voice for my Sutra lecture.
Your house is confined enough.
Yeah.
If it was in a smaller area, your voice wouldn't go off.
And then if we were to move to my house, probably on the weekend. then it's less stress for you. We couldn't get this place on the weekend, so it's less traffic problems for you.
Go back to Saturday.
And some of the child students may be able to make it because they can't come here because they have to work at night.
Yeah, it's hard for a lot of people.
So see if we can break the contract, and I don't mind paying for it. It's okay. It's fair.
We'll be here the next 5 weeks.
We'll be here next 5 weeks because our contract has a 30-day cancellation clause. And after that, we plan to move to the house. I need to have a PA system because otherwise I can't teach you the proper pacing. I can't teach you the proper rhythm. I can't teach you the proper tune. Okay? And eventually when we go to a large, like when we move, let's say eventually we move to a temple, we join a greater assembly, then you guys can be in control, help control the assembly as well. That's why I'm training you. Because eventually the Dharma assembly will be a lot of people. The power of the Dharma assembly is really, really, really wonderful. It does wonders. That's why I would like to continue to teach you, train you on the Pure Land. And this is the only place in America right now that trains the Pure Land in English. So it's up to you. You have to tell me what you want. Okay? I don't have to train anyone, anything. That's my attitude. But if that's what you want, then I have to plan for that. Alright? Because eventually, for example, in the future, we might be able to go help, go outside. Let's say some of your relatives need help. You can go, there, even funeral homes, that kind of thing. We can make a big difference. Anyway, so let's wrap it up. Let's do a transference, and then there you go. Sorry to go over time. If you have to leave, please leave. That's all right. Time is up.
Late. 49:40.
Everything has to have a. You need to be trained in everything in English, and this is the first in America. May these merits and virtues adorn the Buddha's Pure Land, repaying the 4 kinds of kindness above, aiding the 3 evil paths below. May those who see and hear all bring forth the Bodhi heart. And when this retribution body is done, be all born a land of utmost bliss. Thank you. Good night.
Please remove the car.
I set it off, right? For you? 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 I set it off.